Press the bell icon and never miss an update from ETAuto.
In the last few years, one of the most important announcements that we received in India, especially in Indian automotive industry, was entry of MG Motor, backed by SAIC of China. And they are just 2 months away from rolling out their first product. Today in ETAuto Big Bite Show, we have here with us none other than Mr. Rajeev Chaba, Managing Director and CEO of the company. Welcome to ETAuto, sir.
Thank you very much, Nabil.
Today you had really fantastic show of your technology at the event. How much do you think this is going to translate into volumes? Is it a volume game for MG Motor in India, or what is the strategy as you are just sitting 2 months away from your first product rollout?
So Nabil, I would like to set it right at this stage itself that I'm the first person to admit that our job is not easy. It's going to be tough getting into the Indian market, to crack that success code. We know very well that only few players in this market are pretty successful. Rest all are okay, but are they in the consumer mind naturally? Probably the answer is not very clear. So our job is cut out. So we are not going to get into the volumes at this point of time. We believe in having the right foundation. And so we have certain pillars of foundation in which we are saying our product technology has to be there, the consumer piece in terms of giving a great experience to consumer, and that's going to be given by our dealer partners. So dealers' viability and dealer satisfaction is important, and they are going to be handled by our employees. So actually it starts with having the right culture in the company, employee satisfaction resulting into dealer satisfaction, resulting into consumer satisfaction. So those foundations, those pillars have to be right. We are also very much mindful of a great connect with the community. So we have, in fact, 2 years before the launch itself, we have done lots of community programs. We are doing a lot of startups. We are doing a lot of hackathons. We are doing safety training awareness to the kids. So lots of things we are doing it. Coming back to technology piece, what we did, what we unveiled today, we are the first company in the country to get this internet car. What does it mean is that we are connected car all the time. We have embedded SIM, but what does it do is that you can enhance the safety and security of consumer. You can do over-the-air updates, and you can do lots of things like
so
remote
So
operations.
you have quite a number of tie-ups that you have just introduced a while ago. You have Microsoft, you have Unlimited, you have SAP, Adobe, a lot of companies. TomTom. So how are you going to deal with these kind of people? They are completely different set of people that traditionally the automakers were dealing with. How complex or easy it was?
So to get into the new technology and also to have some kind of a paradigm shift in providing services to consumer, you need to have partners. You need to have collaboration. So the, as we call it, ecosystem. So most of these players are international partners of ours, and we are working together in some other countries. But by doing this show in India and by implementing this program in our first car itself, we have enhanced the speed of implementation for India-specific applications. So I think it's but natural now that we collaborate and we communicate with each other, and in the true partnership spirit, we work with each other. So I think it's going to work out well. So far, so good. A good beginning has been made, in my opinion.
What's I learned from today's event that your focus is going to be Internet of Car. That's what you're talking about. Connectivity. You're talking about upping the entertainment system in your car. The several things that you have introduced. It comes. You have also TomTom that tracks, that notifies, kind of intelligence that provides that decision. But sometimes people may not like to be tracked. People may not like their data to be out. What kind of safety in net are you creating for that?
So I think that's a pretty good question. See, we are very clear about one thing, that privacy and data security is of paramount interest to anyone. And as I was mentioning somewhere else, that we are interested to know the car behavior and not consumer behavior from the data.
I saw one of the slides says that your sister's place, your this place, that place. I may not like to be known where am I visiting.
Yeah, so actually, like if you think of it, the phone which you are carrying right now is already tracking you. Right? The phone knows if somebody wants to know where
That's
you are
already
right now.
creating a lot of
Right?
problems.
So in the car, in the navigation, also like the tracking is there existing. It depends on your vision, on your policy, and how do you intend to use this whole thing. So we definitely are very clear about certain things, and I will refer to the Microsoft presentation earlier today, in which we talked about the data privacy and we talked about the data protection and the safety of the occupants. So I think we want to make sure that we are governed by that clear-cut policy. All the data resides in India, in our cloud system here. So the thing is, we are not, as I'm repeating probably here, we are not getting into the data mining of consumer behavior. We are interested in data mining of the car behavior, so that we can do predictive maintenance, we can do lots of things to improve the driving behavior. So we make you a smart driver. You know, this car can help you in becoming a smart driver rather than anything else.
So if somebody wants to buy an MG, they will certainly buy for connectivity or connected car solutions that you are offering. What else is there in MG cars that one should look forward to?
By the way, I must clarify one thing here, based on your question earlier, that we have some versions where you do not have this connectivity option, because this is going to be in the top trim levels, right? So the consumer would have a choice, number one. Number two, we definitely want to make it as DNA of MG brand in the country, so most of the cars, other cars also which are going to follow MG Hector also will have this thing. So from that perspective, you know, we want to be in the forefront of technology as a technology harbinger, if I can call it. We are also launching mild hybrid solutions within the Hector family to start with. So that 48-volt hybrid also is seen in probably in one of the luxury car models in India. So nobody is doing it in the mainstream segments. So we are going to be the first one in a way.
So you are saying that you are going to bring hybrid in an accessible segment where people can buy. And
yes, exactly.
If I can define accessible segment, what would be that?
12
lakh? Looking at Indian income system.
Nabil, you can take my job. So the thing is, it's not going to be that kind of price range. You know
but
players.
If you look at the other sector, talk about mobile, there they have been Chinese manufacturers have been able to cater to over 60-65% market share, and one key point has been the feature and the price. That has been the deadly combination. Do we see replicated here in automobile?
So I don't want to get into this. I don't want to be categorized by this narrow definition of that this is your swim lane and that's what you should do. We are saying here it's part of a we are part of a global company.
But does that excite you?
MG, I'll come to that. Maurice Garages is a British brand. We have a lot of Britishness in the DNA, and we want to continue with that kind of excitement in technology too. And also, I can promise you one thing, this technology is going to be affordable in those segments, right? It's not that people can't afford it. Even our EV, just to complete answer on the previous question, that even the EV, what we are going to launch end of this year, is also going to be an affordable EV. We are not talking about 40-50 lakhs of rupees. So, you know, we feel that we are in a position, thanks to our parents, thanks to our investment in technology and having these kind of partnership with international players, we are able to bring hybrid EV internet car in the most value possible way, which consumers probably are going to like it and are willing to pay, hopefully.
So do we see what the success we saw in telecom space, smartphones and all, do we see that kind of thing replicated here? Because somebody cannot afford a 2 lakh rupees phone, but probably made in China, 25-30 lakh rupees phone can offer. Do we see that kind of thing being here? No. Possible or not?
Inshallah. Consumer will say that, and we are trying to do our best. I keep telling myself and the team members that we need to be on our toes. We need to do our best. Let's assume examination paper is going to be very tough. So we are working towards that. Rest consumers have to answer this question.
So you're ready to shake the automobile industry in India when it comes to price point. That's what we expect.
No. I mean, that's what you are saying now. I'm not saying that. You know, it has to have a value equation, right? You know, and there's a price for everything. You just saw today international players like Microsoft and TomTom and Nuance and Adobe and SAP. They are not cheap.
Was it,
right?
was it
There's
a
price.
deliberate decision? Was it a kind of image making also that you collaborated with all the top ones, most reliable brands that you just mentioned?
See, I think
You could have got affordable partners also in that aspect.
No, see, I think that's a very interesting one. We want to make sure that we go to the best for the best solution. And by the way, these are costly solutions. The names which we just talked about are not cheap, right? And their solution is not cheap on the low end side of the pricing equation. So, but we are very conscious of getting the best solution. And because of the global partnerships, because of the global scale, we hope we can bring it to the affordability range. So our cars are not going to be cheap for sure. Our cars cannot be cheap because of all these associations, but hopefully we should be okay in terms of consumer acceptance.
Let's come back to your business. Dealers are already under stress, you have seen across brands. How MG is trying to bring dealers to their fold in a testing time where a lot of dealers have gone bankrupt, they have abandoned the fold, and in such a situation your job is to bring dealers to your
See, it all gets driven by your philosophy to start with, what kind of people you want to have with you, right? I'm happy to say, and I'm willing to bet on this particular thing, that we are going to have probably the best dealer body in the country. Why? Because we are saying few things very clearly to them. Number one, we are saying, you take care of customer satisfaction, we take care of your viability. We are not going to talk about wholesale business. Nabil, in one of your conferences, I mentioned this, and I think dealers really applauded that we in our company are not going to talk about wholesale business. We are saying retail business. It means at least you don't saddle the dealer with huge inventory, unsold inventory. So whatever gets sold, we replace, and that's what. Third, we are saying we'll go with few dealer principles, and we will give them more and more points and areas to grow. So dealers are confident right now in MG India that today we may start with 50 dealers and at 100 points, but tomorrow if suppose we want 500 points, and hopefully we do it at the earliest, we are going to give chance to these guys to grow. So dealer viability, dealer satisfaction is there. So because of the policies, we are able to get the best talent.
So you're talking about dealer viability. I have learned that you are giving some upfront financial help to the tune of crore or 1.5 crore or something of that sort. So how does this help you as a corporation? Because you are also here to make money, to be profitable. So none of the earlier OEMs have been able to offer these kind of support. I think the new one coming up, the other one is also offering, but not to that extent.
Nabil, let's put that in perspective. Yeah. So if you go into more details there, what we are telling the dealer partner is that you make your showrooms and workshops ready the way we wanted, have all the right kind of tools and have the right manpower. Based on that, we will support you financially in certain areas. In which areas we are talking about? So we are talking about the CI, corporate identity, or the logos, or some of the tools, we will sponsor and we will do it. And by the way, everybody does that, okay? They do it in a different possible way, right? So we are very upfront. It's a question of, again, our policy, transparency, and clarity. We are telling the dealers that, hey, listen, if you do these things in this possible time frame, I will give you the money upfront. In fact, we have gone to the stage, we are saying, in the first month of billing, I will give you this money. So we have been very upfront, and that's what probably you have noticed it. But actually, other OEMs do it in a very different way. Some kind of support is always existing, and they give it. So we have not gone out of our way. Only thing is, we are on your face, very clear and transparent.
So you are planning 4 products, right, in the first go in India. So can you tell us the rollout plans that you have?
So what we have announced so far, Nabil, is that we are going to launch 4 cars in the next 2 years, right? All are not going to be volume leaders. maybe half of them will be volume leaders, half of them would be for the brand building, right? Because Morris Garage's MG brand is still not known in our country that much. Some people have ideas, some people don't have any idea. So through this technology, through EVs, we want to establish our brand in the best possible way. In 2 years' time, we will launch 4 cars. First 2 cars we have already announced. Third and fourth, let's stay tuned.
So that hybrid is also this year?
So this hybrid model is hybrid version
Variant
is within Hector. It's a variant, exactly. So it's within Hector we are doing it.
So that will be launched
it's not,
simultaneously?
It's not, yeah, we launch it together when we announce our pricing and we announce our variants. It's going to be right from the day one.
Means around June that will also come. EV will be towards the end of.
EV is the second car altogether.
That is also on Hector,
end
right?
of this year. No, so EV will be it's a different brand name altogether. It's not Hector. It's a different segment also, by the way.
It's a SUV only.
SUV, smaller SUV.
Smaller SUV, that's what going to come from next. Apart from this, this feature that you have so far done, you have done a lot of activities with the industry also. You promoted the startups, you went on to dealer roadshow, did a lot of activities, a lot of marketing activities have been happening. You are still saying that Morris Garage is yet not that known. So what is the next step of marketing and branding activity, and what kind of investment you are looking forward?
It's a journey. It's a journey on which we have embarked upon. I won't say nobody knows, but I'm saying still relatively few people know us. But as we speak, the number is increasing. After today's event, I'm sure more and more people will know MG. So we have to do this through this organically, as well as we have to make sure that advertising happens at the right channel. So usual marketing things, the PR things, and the consumer experience activities probably have to happen all together. So we have a mix of all these things in our plan, and hopefully by the time we are ready to start deliveries, lots of people, especially our segment guys, will know us.
Let's move a bit away from focus to more global questions. You have seen China has cut down on subsidies on EV. The kind of relation China is sharing with some of the global big markets like US. How do you see yourself or your company impacting? Do you see any kind of impact?
In fact, that's a very, very important and good question. And again, to give you a perspective, I'm sure you know it, but to the audience, let's say, China is already at the 3rd stage or 3rd generation of policy. What does it mean is that they started 10 years back what we are doing in India right now. So they talked about, okay, promote the infrastructure and give subsidies. Then second stage, they said, now I want to give subsidies to those cars where they have bigger range or better technology. And now they are coming to a stage where they are saying, hey, by the way, let's establish carbon credit system, which will basically democratize the whole thing and will have a
overall
marketplace. So they are in the 3rd generation of policy making. We are in the 1st generation. So our government, rightly so, is saying through FAME 2 and through GST kind of a thing that, okay.
Do you think this will lead to your parent company supporting you more in terms of establishing in India and increasing your volume in new energy vehicles?
See, I really don't know exactly how it will pan out, but one clarity is there, that because we have this technology available of connected car as well as EV. Within EV, we know the battery system very well. We have some joint ventures with global players in the battery. So that's how we are able to bring it to India as and when we are ready. Now here in India, we could have waited for the right opportunity or the right timing, as somebody says, but we are saying maybe this is the right time to get
But if you look at FAME 2, they have set a limit of 15 lakh. So your product,
so I was
this side of that.
So we won't be within 15 lakhs as far as our first EV is concerned. Our second EV, hopefully in future, can fit into that. But frankly, we are not going to depend on the FAME 2 policy for taking a decision on bringing the car here. We will be more interested in the government policies of creating the infrastructure, and we will push ourselves to bring this affordable factor irrespective of the FAME thing. So we will urge the government to have clear policy policies and long-term policies in terms of infrastructure creation, right? So I think we will be agnostic to the same thing.
When the second EV we can expect?
So not at this stage, but depending on the reaction and the consumer acceptance, because it's not going to be easy journey on our first EV and other EVs by competitors, I think we'll take the call for second EV. But we know, as Indians, we know that an EV below 10 lakhs is going to be very, very attractive to lots of people in our country. Only thing is then infrastructure has to keep pace. So maybe it's a supply and demand kind of a thing. So we'll watch this space and then accordingly decide.
But you are planning an EV within 10 lakh. That's what you are thinking. That's a good space to be in.
At least we know that's a good space to be in for volumes.
And
in
it
future,
is workable, you think?
As and when it's possible. It's possible, but there the government has to have a clear and long-term vision.
Okay, let's come back to India and China relation, which always keep changing. How do you see some kind of impact on you from your parent company?
I think, Nabil, let politicians answer those questions. I don't know the answer. I think let's stick to business. And I think business relationship is mutually dependent. So I don't want to get into the political question here. And consumers have to decide what they want to buy.
But MG is intact and it will be moving.
So MG's Morris garages. See, the question here I want to give one thought to people, right? If suppose MG was owned by BMW sometime before, so were we a German company or a British company? It got owned by, suppose it gets owned by American. So MG is an American company or a British company. So let's be clear on that. MG Morris Garages is a British brand. So we will have that DNA in all our offerings to consumer. Ownership is different. So ownership can change as we go forward, right?
One last question.
But the brand, I hope you and the audience gets it right.
Yeah.
The brand is British.
Yeah. One last question. Vehicle manufacturers are moving to be a mobility solution provider. How MG is working in India? Because we see a lot of collaboration happening. How do you see shared mobility, subscription model? There are a lot of things happening.
So Nabil, I'm sure you're aware of that we also have a strategic tie with Miles. Right, so again that area also will change. Consumers, I think, would like to have different ownership solutions. We are working on that, and hopefully, as I said in my presentation today, that we will like to provide more options and more and different solutions to consumers. So let's stay tuned to that.
Thank you so much for being so candid.
Thanks,
Thank you
Nabil.
so much.
Thank you
so much.
much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Nabil.